Dave in Indiana, Mad Dog Unleashed. Dave, welcome. Your turn. How are you today?
Very good. Hey, you were talking about coaches that got votes that lost players. I was wondering why you don't think McMillan got any kind of recognition.
Well, he got a vote. He got a vote. He got
one vote with him losing George. You know, I was looking at the Cavs Pacers matchup, and the Cavs were minus 40 for the series, and that's the lowest plus minus of any team to win a first round matchup since the NBA switched to 7-game format. And the reason I mention that is that everything that I've heard on shows has been, you know, next year the Philly's going to be good, Boston's going to be good, and I'm just curious why you think that the Pacers don't get any kind of recognition.
Well, next year they're going to get a little more. This year, people basically thought they were going to be bad. Oladipo had sort of failed with 2 teams, if you want to look at that. So that number one. Bogdanovich is the next net. Miles Turner is a guy that's just developing. Collison is what he is. I mean, they had a bunch of cast-offs, and so as a result, they maybe didn't get the reckoning. Sabonis was traded, so they probably felt they didn't have this, the cred that some of these other franchises had. So next year that will not happen.
Next year. Okay. Hey, thanks so much.
All right, there, Dave. You take care. Next year, Indiana's not going to come in there with the unheralded. People are going to know Indiana's pretty good next year. And Indiana played a very good series against Cleveland. I mean, you can make an argument they should have won. I mean, they almost won Game 5, and they could have won with little luck Game 7. They lost by 4 points. They were outplayed in Game 7. Game 5, they could have won. Game 2, they had a chance after they had won Game 1. Indiana did a hell of a job in that series. Now they lost Game 4, and see, that's when you got to go get the job done when you're a team like Indiana or even say Winnipeg. I'll give you an example about Winnipeg. Winnipeg, it works with Indiana. Winnipeg's had 2 chances to put Nashville away. They're up 2-1. They have Game 4 at home. They're up 3-2. They have Game 6 at home. Indiana had 2 chances, in a lot of ways, to bury the Cavs. Winnipeg had 3 chances because they won the first game, so they could have won Game 2. Indiana won the first game easy, and in Game 2, they were right there at the end. All right, they lost. On the road, to give them that. They blow Game 3 with a huge lead, 57-40. They come back and win a Game 3. That Game 4, they could have won and lost by 4 points. So that's another game. So they win Game 3, they're up 2-1, and they're right there in Game 4 against a beleaguered Cavalier team that's lucky they're alive, and they don't put them away. Game 2, they could have really, stomped the Cavs. They weren't able to do it. When you're that team, when you need to take advantage of that home court or the home ice, and you don't have it in Game 7, you have to win those games. Now, I always think when I talk about the underdogs, I would make the argument because Boston's a very good team and they won 2 road games in Philly, won a 1 road game in Philly, did not win a road game in Milwaukee, but they won a road game in Philly. I think that, and for instance, for Golden State, well, that's different because they're better than Houston. But normally, when I don't have home court or home ice, and I'm rooting for that team, I think that team's got to win twice in the other guy's building. Twice. Because you have to figure the higher seeded team is good enough to win a game in your building. And if they do that, that means you got to win twice in their building to win a series. Now I'm asking Winnipeg to win 3 times in Nashville's building. Not twice, which they did. 3 times. I'm asking Indiana. I had to figure Indiana was going to have to win a second game in Cleveland. They won the first game. You had to figure to win a series, they're going to win a second game. Well, they didn't, but they weren't able to do it and lost. I'm not sure if Nashville can win 3 games. So, Utah won a game in Houston. They had to win a second game in Houston just to stay alive. The unheralded or the lower-seeded team to pull off a surprise a lot of times will have to win 2 games in the other guy's place to win a series. And, sometimes these teams can't do that. Dave in Manhattan is aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Dave, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, Doggy, how you be, Doggy?
All right, David. Nice to talk to you. What's happening now?
Yeah, by the way, I am a refugee, and I got to say, even though Mike is back, like, I'm enjoying, I missed you very much on the fan, but, like, I think I'm going to stick around for a while. I enjoy your show very much.
Well, there you go, David. We need all that. Good job. There's room enough for two of us. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Definitely. And what's it called? I was going to talk about the Yanks. Yesterday you were talking about Knicks being I'm a huge Knicks fan. And forget about them being the Garden being the mecca of basketball. They haven't won in 2 decades. And if everybody thinks they're the mecca of basketball, why can't any free agent come over here?
I agree.
It's the laughing stock of the whole NBA, the Knicks. Nobody wants to join the team. Nobody wants it. Only Stoudemire, he was the only guy, but he had bum knees. I don't want to hear about the mecca. I want to see some wins.
100% right. The Garden people like to talk about the mecca. And anytime you put a building in the middle of Manhattan, the biggest city in the world, it's, going to be, and it's basketball. New York likes to think it's the home office of basketball going back to the 20s. So, but that's the only thing they have to hold on to. It's very overrated. There isn't a player in the NBA who thinks the Garden's the mecca. I'll tell you that right now. 10 in front of the hour. We continue here on Mad Dog Unlimited.